My friend was riding that popular coaster and I saw his cap fly off. I severely regret jumping over the fence to grab it, as I see my head roll away. I have discovered the proper way to handle a disobedient, disrespectful, and hateful child. Piece by piece. I hadn't seen my husband's face in so long. I tried to figure out who the man was and why he was wearing my husband's face, in my house. It's always a challenge getting my pet into her crate for the night. She always tries to escape or says things like, "Please sir, I miss my mommy." I know vampires don't like garlic. So when a vampire came after me, I suddenly put a chain made of garlic on my neck. "Ah. I see you are seasoning the meat so it makes much tastier," he said. I was scared of being buried alive, let alone a friend. So, at their funeral I secretly put a walkie-talkie in their coffin. I did it as a precaution, but I regret it, as every night I get an answer at 3 in the morning asking me to come help him. But I know the voice on there isn't his. I summoned a genie and he granted me one wish. I wished I had no fat and an hourglass figure, but I didn't expect to hear sand hit against glass, let alone what to do when it ran out. I thought that crawl space would be a great place to hide. But the voices of the intruders made me nervous. "Do you smell that? It's rotten. Maybe he did murder all those boys." They say you can't kill a vampire. Now I have second thoughts after seeing a vampire was torn apart by whatever on the lake. I love going to costume parties. But I prefer the look on people's face when they realize I'm not in a costume. I'm just killing time. Wait, I misspelt his name. "Please don't make me do this," he wailed. "You chose to play the bard. You must seduce the dragon, right now," smirked the DM. I ran into the church and began to pray when the demon came looking for me. I stopped praying when he said, "Stupid humans. Always take the brutal ways to die, when we offer salvation." The demon laughed maniacally as it possessed me. The sheer horror it felt as it realized I wasn't human and it had let me into its mind was delicious. It's not being sucked into a black hole we should be afraid of. It's what comes out of it we should be afraid of. Doctor's inner voice: "Mark, don't be hard on yourself. You are neither first nor last doctor who slept with the patient." Also, she was 18. Also, doctor's inner voice: "Mark, you are a veterinarian." I always thought that my classmate Leroy wore that eye patch to look cool, knowing that he had never had any injuries every time I decided to stay at his place. But I only thought differently when a bully tore off the eye patch and a tentacle shot out of his eye socket, which impaled the bully in the throat. They say your life flashes before your eyes when you die, but they never said you keep doing it over and over and over again. My brother always rips apart his drawings if he doesn't like them. I wish he never became a tattoo artist. She teared up at the thought of a life without him. Wiping her eyes, she then looked through the crosshairs at her husband with yet another lover, and pulled the trigger. Bad enough that the woman was on her phone when her son fell and broke his neck. It was worse than the first responder discovered her camera was on the whole time. As me and my partner walked through the haunted house, it felt good to have his hand on his back ends, gently guiding me. Until I remembered clinging onto his arm throughout. He kissed her hand and held it close to his chest. The police had to sedate him so they could bury the remaining piece of the victim. He was fired for having sexual relations with his patient. He was the worst vet ever. I hate how my grandfather always stinks up my bathroom. I knew I should have hidden his body somewhere different, but it's too late now. I woke up from a nightmare that was about someone killing me at 3:26 a.m. The clock said, 3:25 a.m. People said that everything she drew came to life, which is why she was kept here in this facility. Who showed her those damn movies? Everyone was begging me to stop as I went on to take a nosedive off the canyon. When I didn't wake up, I remembered that the genie only gave me 3 lives. I know a lot of people don't like sleeping alone in the dark. Don't worry, I'll look outside your closet to make sure nothing is there. I watched the man's flesh burn from the fire I started on him. As his flesh burned, it revealed the green reptile skin underneath. I heard the laughing of several young girls getting louder and louder, almost if it was coming closer. If I wasn't deaf and in the middle of nowhere, that would be a whole different story. As my throat began to hurt, I went to the hospital for treatment. My Adam's apple seeds unfortunately finally bloomed. I wish I could die sleeping peacefully like my late grandpa. Surely I don't want to go out screaming like passengers in the bus he was driving. "Pull out your knife," he said. As I pulled my blade that was hilt deep in his chest, I wasn't sure what I was more disturbed by, the fact there was no blood coming out of the wound, or the fact he was smiling when he said it. The dolls that my sister knitted together were of our family so she wouldn't miss us when she moved out. Later that day though, Mom's body was ripped in half and the ruined doll was at her feet. Warning, grimdark. The warden of the prison allowed the prisoner to have one book during the 10-year sentence. The book was Twilight. All I want is your heart and liver, kidneys and eyes. I've gotten really good at breakdancing lately. I guess something good came out of living near a war zone. "Get back on Holy Beast!" the woman yelled, brandishing a stake and silver cross. "Mom, I'm not a vampire, it's just an allergy to garlic." I've always had the habit of talking to myself and imaginary friends when I'm alone. Never did I expect to hear something talk back. My mom forbids me from going into the basement, but when I heard the sounds of a puppy I wanted to investigate. After being caught by my mom, I promised her to never go back down, but I just wonder why a little boy is down there and why he doesn't have hands or feet. I was used to my stomach growling ever since I had started my strict diet. But the growls were coming from below my bed. Breaking promises isn't something I do often, but this time it was justified. If you bullied me in the past, you can't trust me when I say I will keep my dogs leashed. Our neighbor's kid has been mauled to death by one of their dogs. After they euthanized their 2 pit bulls, they were shocked when they watched their chihuahua cough up a piece of their kid's clothing. The world outside is a dark and cruel place. That's why I have to lock you in here to keep you safe. People are afraid ever since people got mauled and torn apart by the local strays. They are yet to realize that the bite marks on the bodies aren't canine, but human. People are usually a little freaked out when I tell them that taxidermy is one of my hobbies. Good thing they don't know that the specimen I work on are their kids who dare step on my property. I wouldn't want to get police involved. Please don't do it, he was just protecting himself. I plea as my neighbors try to urge the police to take my dog after he bit their child. I'm glad I have such a good reputation, they would never suspect that I'd trained him to bite that awful kid. Crows are very intelligent and will do anything for a piece of food. Today it's theft, tomorrow I will make them peck my boss's eyes out. Today is the first time I go hiking at night with my friends. Shining the light back at them, I can't help but wonder why Stacy's eyes reflect the light. Human eyes don't do that. I was always told to never go hiking alone. Now that my leg is stuck in a bear trap with a mountain lion slowly approaching, I wish I would have listened to my parents for once. Peanuts, I replied when my soon-to-be employer asked if I had any allergies. Perfect, he replied, as I dropped my cup of tea and my throat began tightening. Thank you for watching our 2-sentence horror videos. All rights of the 2-sentence horror stories in our video belong to their respective owners. Check out the original post's link on the description. This is RedditJoe channel, your everyday Reddit.